Okay, so I'm hoping that things are alright now. I do have my microphone in a very different position to what I normally would have it. And it's not worked as I thought it would. So I'm going to have to rearrange it. It's like kind of above my head at the moment. And I thought I could get like a greater degree of flexibility in the actual boom, I think it's a boom, the arm, whatever you want to call it. And I haven't, but I can't be asked moving it at the moment. It'll work. I don't know, Vulcan, good to have you, my man. While you're here, Vulcan, can you let me know if the audio is okay? That'd be great. How you doing there, BGG? GGGG. Good to have you, my man. Hope you're doing well. Just wait for things to catch up. How you doing there, silly? I know, right? Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why music's louder. I really don't. It's bizarre. I could turn that down better. No, that's definitely not as loud. Yeah, it's so bizarre. How you doing there, Doom? How you doing there, my friend? I'm alright. Feeling a little bit tired at the moment. I will skin your cats and listen to them out on the ground. I read that without reading a Vulcan's comment. I'm like, what? That's wild. That's hog wild. Okay. Skin your cats. Oh, okay. That that tickled me there. That did tickle me. So we have a name of the turn here. I don't like spiders and snakes. Okay. Some of these are amazing. Hopefully the audio is okay. How you doing there, Alex? Good to have you, my friend. Yeah, so we're sending 4 DMSs to wait today. We do have Kidaptai remaining in position. I've taken the... Because we're remaining in position as well, I've rearranged things. There was... See, this is it. I thought every BB was rearmed. It turns out the Yamashiro actually didn't have her full capacity of ammunition, so she's been sent south to go and rearm a Tongi, which actually serves a purpose to... thank you very much, Alex. It serves a purpose to actually go ahead and further secure that backline while the invasion forces move north. But I do have 2 task forces, right, so those are the DDs reacting there to those guys. I do have 2 task forces or BBs, well, there's one with 2 BBs in, which is Nagato and Mutsu, and then we have other one with Fuso, I think it is alone. But in Kidaptai itself, I did put the 3 fast battleships. Oh, we've seen patrol boats, okay, that's interesting. How you doing there, Fiadon? This is Gary Grisby's Warner Pacific Admiral's Edition. Okay. Now, I do have a DD and Azuma over here. I sent her out this way because she was only carrying, I think, 1 support squad. There is a light cruiser out here as well anyway, so it's not going to be able to do too much there. PC's just a patrol craft, isn't it? So it shouldn't be much of a problem. Yeah, 3VP. We are seeing a number of ships out here, though, so it's kind of strange we didn't pick up on them beforehand, to be honest. How you doing there, Pistol? Good to have you, my man. So they've been ordered to disengage there. I mean, that was at 15,000 yards, so it's pretty good accuracy there. Yeah, 3 hits there. Looks like there's another task force out here, though. Yeah, we've seen a couple of the task forces here, which is interesting. We do have mines being cleared. We are seeing assets over here. We're hearing what sounds like shots, so I imagine they're coming under fire. They're probably going to get beaten up by the coastal defense guns. We're seeing these move over here, which is good. Encountering them over here. Yeah, so the DMSs are likely going to get beaten up. I'd be surprised if they actually do make it through a day. If they make it through the day, that'd be fantastic. As long as I can clear some mines, and that's great. We've cleared a couple of mines, which is very handy. Detecting mines is also very good too. Just generally raising the detection level of the minefields. Dealing with the mines as best we can. We do have... Oh, wow, they were down quick. Wow. That was impressive. That's pretty impressive. Yes, we do have another 4 DMSs moving out towards that way anyway. Hey, done there, Piston. I tell you, school has basically taken my ability to play games down to 2 hours a week. I feel you, man. I feel you. I don't really play much in the way of games. Maybe every now and then, but it's rare now. Yeah, so they've been taking hits there. Torpedo misses there. As long as they remain afloat and capable of clearing mines, then at least that's something we can work with. Hey, done Alka. Not too sure on that one. Not too sure on that account. So we are seeing a sub there. We've seen a task force over to the south there, actually. He's going to be aware, of course, of the Kidapattai, but, well, that's eventually going to happen anyway. DMS there. Actually, no, that could be the DDs. We do have... Well, I have 3 DDs in this area. There's 2 D... Well, this one over here, I forget the name of it, was heading towards the Kidapattai. These 2 DDs that we had here just south of Wake, I put them on Ace to patrol this area, just to try and type his submarines to some degree. That's an APD, Gregory. Huh. That's interesting, actually, but... okay. So, we see another APD over here now. That's actually really quite good information there. Very interesting. APD. We are bombarding here. They're low in ammunition, but I told them to bombard before they do retire. At least there's a couple more shells down on the basic Sicarian. It's not going to do a huge amount, but it's at least something. Yeah, just a couple hits, but they can retire and rearm. Might as well make use of that ammunition before they do retire there. Right, we're offloading that. Okay. So we can definitely see that the DMSs are taking punishment from Wade's coastal defences. S-43 there misses there. Okay. See, now, we've actually been quite fortunate over here that we haven't been hit by any torpedoes. But they're firing torpedoes that could hit something more valuable. So, that's not bad. Especially as that's launching 4 there. They could rearm at Wake, but I'm not sure if they can do that. Right, good, good. Here we are, sweeping more mines, which is really nice there. 18 mines. This is a lot of mines that we can sweep now. I'm really, really happy about that. That's a lot of mines we managed to sweep here. That's enough of it. And we do hit the APD. I will take that. Looks like we nailed the gnarly there. And we see Stringham. APD Stringham. Interesting. There's got to be a reason for why he has this many APDs. I don't think he has this many APDs to begin with, does he? Is it the... Which is the name of... It's like a class of USDD, isn't there? That can convert to an APD. Is that what he's done there, perhaps? But they have the K-guns, though, which are quite effective. So he's probably converted them over for the more effective ASW, perhaps? I mean, APDs are really quite useful. We did put a torpedo into one of them, though, so I'm quite happy about that. So we know there's something here. We know there's an APD here. Okay, I want him to use in deep waters. K-guns are pretty nasty. A torpedo will probably do a lot of damage. If it doesn't sink it outright, it'll probably do a lot of damage. Yeah, the APD Manly there, on fire, heavy damage. She goes down there. S-44 puts a torpedo into the GPU-7. So eventually it does happen, so she's likely going to go down there. But again, that's another 4 torpedoes that have been expended. So she goes down. Busy turn so far. But I'm very happy about the mines that we managed to clear. I can imagine there's a lot of mines at Wake. Who knows how many there are. But if I could get more, just a longer time frame to clear those mines, I'd be happy there. That's APD Little. We're seeing another task force around here now as well. I'm impressed by the... I don't know if I should be impressed actually by the submarines, because it seems like we're being hunted here. I don't know, perhaps. AGP takes a torpedo there. She can head into Bataria. Unless she sinks. We encounter the other ship over here then, okay. engage with the 3 DDs. Essentially, can't allow anything to escape. Crossing the T, but we... I think we win this one. As an AMC, yep, okay. Massive explosive, damage as she goes down there. Okay, well, cool. Very nice. She goes down. And we hit a mine there with DMS W8. Okay, sucks. But that's another mine cleared. There's still mines that are awake. I mean, this is the problem. I knew I was going to lose these DMSs more than likely, but we do have more on the way. Attacking the subs out there. As long as we can clear mines, as long as we can raise the actual the actual detection of the minefields, at least that's something. Yeah, it's on advanced it. Right, they're still there, okay. So we have been detected now, so Kinematai has been revealed, which is not too surprising. Bad weather there. I'm going to be quite intrigued to see what information we have on those task forces that we're detecting out towards the east there. Now, in theory, we should actually have the landing forces hopefully in position today so they can land tomorrow. But I mean, this is it. It looks like we've cleared... I'm not too sure how many we cleared. I think we cleared a decent number, so that's quite nice. Yeah, decent raid. I don't know why they're hitting here, however. That's interesting. They should be hitting the Chang. I haven't given them another order there. So, I'm not so sure why they're hitting there, but okay. That's a little confusing. 675 casualties there. That's a lot of casualties there. 99, 17. Pretty good then, actually. Pretty good. Wow. Nice. I don't know why they're hitting here. They shouldn't be hitting here. Bizarre. I'm not sure. Maybe so. Maybe so. I mean, it's close to Ichang, but hey, another 27 there. It doesn't make a huge difference, but a little surprising. How you doing there, Feta? We had a number of DMSs. Well, we had 2 DMSs sunk, I'd imagine, so far. We put a torpedo into an APD of his. We've had some engagements with other APDs. We cleared a bunch of mines at Wake Island. A bunch of submarine activity around Wake Island. Yeah, interesting stuff. Just going through the air phase here. We've sank a couple little patrol boats. Just bombing him over here. I did take all the bombers from the north and bring them back down here to Hankow. It's going to be overburdening the actual airfield, but that airfield's not too far away from being expanded to the next size up, which I think is a 7. Which is pretty nice. Hitting Port Moresby once again. Again, we do have forces heading south to actually ultimately land here at Port Moresby, but we have been able to completely suppress it, which is quite nice. I just need to go ahead and seal the deal. Thank you very much there for the resubscription for that's much appreciated, my man. DMS action, clearing mines, submarine action, taking out a couple of these patrol boats, bombers in China, and then this. Number hits there, looking good. We are bombing over here, and we'll be bombing at Xi'an as well. Okay. So I started for 11,000 feet to see if they had any AA. It doesn't look like it, so I can go much lower than that, it seems, next. Yeah, the 88th Chinese Corps. A couple more sallies there. I need to get the mods to change the look of the actual sprites, really. 23 casualties. That first bombing raid was really quite good. Saw good experience for the actual bomber crews as well, which is very nice. Okay. More hits on the runway. Yeah, 100. Right, we've seen him attack us over here with Blenheims, but that really doesn't do that much difference, to be honest. Doesn't make much of a difference. Yeah, he's actually escorting this with Hurricanes. Okay, fair enough. The 2 divisions over there will be attacking this turn as well. So WA goes down there. We do have flooding aboard W19, but if she lasts until next turn, I'd be very, very happy. As long as she can just sweep again, I'm happy with that. Oh, well, then again, we'll take a look at the actual damage and just see what we can do. Attacking the submarines in that area there. Okay, moving to the airstrikes. right now we're actually starting to get some bombers of a Kagayan. We seem to have had a problem for a while. But at least they're flying out now. Just even a little bit of damage, just enough to be able to keep the damage up as worthwhile. He's moving north of those assets, which is not too surprising. The tanks I should say. We should have a Thai detachment arriving there, possibly today. Just to the north of them to hem them in. And then some RF guns are crossing over. Kilgore having additional flooding is not exactly nice. Need to avoid that. Okay, so W19 is likely going to go down. Yeah, Major Flood 19 is going to probably go down if she doesn't go down today. Or it looks like she's not going to be leaving Wake. So if she can carry out her job, she can carry out her job then, but it looks like she's not going to be leaving that area. Right, we are attacking over here then, so we do have the Indian Mountain Gun Regiment and the 2nd Burma Brigade there. They're pretty fucked. I should have made this a shock attack in all honesty, actually. I forgot to make it a shock attack. Yeah, so we should have a unit here today, ideally. Yeah, that one surrenders. Tell me they both surrendered, please. Alright, good. Both destroyed. Excellent. Okay, yeah, there was just 96 men there. 96 men. Yeah, I think they were just somewhat outnumbered. 135 to 28,000 men. Yeah, they were wiped out there by a patrol. Still seeing them moving there. Now, I do wonder if the amount has increased over here. I really do hope they all move over here. I really do want that airfield. Oh, I've seen here, but 287, 269. Just here, then, okay. Once we do have Ichang available, I'm going to go ahead and stop the bombardments over here. Because I think it is more economical to just use the bombers to do that. It should be more effective. And then what I'll do is allow them to save up supply in this area, then we can go ahead and attack in the near future. But I want that airbase. I want that airbase so bad. We're going to have to build it up, but I really want it. It would have been very nice to have had it this turn, but unfortunately not. But I will. Soon, one may hope. And we're still doing damage over here, which is quite nice. I mean, this is it. We're probably hitting cores like this, where they've already taken damage and it's not disabled. They might be the ones being wiped. Well, with the destroyed squads, but we're still doing some decent damage here. 390 there, 12 squads destroyed is pretty good there. 20 disabled, sorry. Yeah, 1765. I don't think he's reinforced. He might have actually slightly reinforced. Is that higher or lower than I remember? I think it might be a little higher than I remember, or right about the same. What's the largest gun you have at Kianko? Oh, not too sure actually, we'll have to check on that. Right. Is there less? I think there's less calls over here. I mean, we'll see in the AV count. In a sec. I think it's about the same there. They're still moving. We are launching a deliberate attack over here. That 35th Chinese Corps is stronger than I would have hoped for, but they should have very low to no supply, though we're not going to defeat them now. If they're in the wrong operations mode, which is real nice, that does actually save us quite a lot, they still have some supply. So we can probably attack again next turn perhaps, and be okay considering the fact that he may very well not have supply now. At Kianko we do have a decent amount of artillery. Right, they've been forced to retreat towards Yunnan, so they've been kicked back across there. And they were in the wrong ops mode, so that was pretty nasty for them. So 328 casualties there. No casualties on our side there. Okay, well. I didn't realise that was a, a core. But at least we know that now. We didn't take... Yeah, we didn't take too much away casualties because there's not that many men there, but at least we are aware that is a full core now. Well, a core at the very least. Attacking over here. Hopefully that'll force them to surrender. I can't see them not... Oh, they're forced to retreat. Back over here into the jungles, but they've been out of supply for a long time. Yeah, 136 there. It would have been nice to be able to see them destroyed completely. Oh, so they're attacking over here at Ankang. So we do see the full core there and the 56. We do have 116th in position here. So 1-to-1 odds there. 490 to 523. Yep. Yeah. So we have 100 casualties, 7 disabled, 1 disabled, 2 disabled. We have 400 casualties here on the Chinese side, 57, 1, 1 and 4 guns disabled there. Now, it's weird that it says about preparation, because we have, like, nearly 50... it might be nearly 50% preparation here. But, I mean, you take a look at that. He attacked with 702 AV at base. It was adjusted to 523, so still more than... Well, actually, no, you take a look at our adjusted defense. Our base AV was 153, so we had a very good roll there on our side. But you look at that, yeah, that's not good for him. And that's use and supply. I'm happy about that. He still has a dot base on Borneo. Yeah, the issue is that base is really annoying to get to. Sometimes they do surrender if they're so unbelievably screwed. Okay, capture a few more bases out here then. Okay. They are very weird sometimes, I know. There we are. Okay, looking pretty good there. So, of course, we did have some DMSs really screwed up. But that's to be expected. Manila expands the airfield size to 7, that's good. Georgetown of fortifications to size 1, okay. Yako, Jima, airfield to 1 there, which is good. Okay. Yeah, showing about the DMSs, but at the end of the day, they have cleared a number of mines. They've definitely paid for it. We do have additional DMSs on the way. I don't like losing DMSs because I really do like them. They are very useful assets, but they are serving their intended function. Every mine cleared, we do have a new DD arrive there. Might have been one that was... No, that is a brand new DD. But every mine cleared is one less that we have to face, so I don't particularly mind that. Ha, mine. I don't think they're in a great position. Yeah, that one's beyond screwed. That one's not too bad. W20 could potentially carry on. Still mines over here, which is not too surprising, but he has a lot of submarines over there. Now, there's only 2 aircraft over here, apparently. So I wonder where all that naval surge came from, all that air. That's interesting. Looks like the amphibious troops have arrived. Yeah, we are detected here. Don't know if Kitabatai is detected, because I can't quite see that. It doesn't go all the way to there. Not everything is detected. I'd assume that the Kitabatai is detected, but I can't quite tell. Yes, we should have the Wake landing go ahead next turn then. Which should be a lot of fun. Have the bombardments there as well. We've been able to avoid the majority of these submarines over here, which is quite nice. Do have the DDs over here. And the other DD arrived over here, so that's good. We do have over here then, so the BB Yamashiro has arrived, so she can be rearmed and she can head back. That's good. It's a decent escort for this position as well. We do have these boats over here too. And let's see. We do have the Eiki Bordeaux Maru, and we have the Shinkoku Maru over here. She's carrying fuel. So the good news is that allows us to refuel. So these guys have been refueled over here. We'll get them rearmed if we can. Can you replace the commander of Kitabatai with Ozawa? I can't replace them while they're at sea. We have Yamaguchi in charge here at the moment. Okay. I'll just go ahead and save it here and then reopen it. Save it like that. Yeah, it would have been nice had we been able to maintain more DMSs, but, well, there's not a huge amount that we can do there. There's still 2 technically alive. Obviously, one of them's completely buggered. One of them's still in a condition where it could probably clear a couple more mines. But any mines cleared is worthwhile. But, I mean, this is the problem with those bloody coastal defense guns that they have there. It is a bit of a pain. It would have been far easier had they not had any, but hey, what can we do? But it's mines cleared and I'm happy about that. If we take a look... Oh, it's not this one here, actually, I should say. Combat. Yeah, I'll take a look at that in a moment there. 4. Yeah, see, coastal guns there. There's not many bloody coastal guns, but they're doing a good job. we do get some information about what is there. So we see the 3rd Marine Defense Battalion, Wake Defense Battalion, which we're aware of anyway. It's just those coastal guns there. That's the problem. We've got another 4 in this area. Then there's another 4, I think, in the wider empire. Maybe a few extra. And this is it. It seems awful that we're losing a lot of DMSs, but then this is it. They are serving the task that they're meant to be serving. In the future, it will make things more difficult, but we will gain more DMSs in the future. Probably not for a while, but we'll see. We've got to use them for their intended task. I mean, they are doing their job. Yeah, 2 shell hits there. These shells are doing... I mean, this is it. They have no armor. But I mean, that's 4 mines cleared there. Well, this is it, as Doom says. So, 6, 10. So we have 31 mines there. 37 mines. Yeah, it's forcing them to use more of their torpedoes there as well. Start with 20, lost 6, not net 14. Yeah, there we go. Another 4 torpedoes wasted there, another 23 there. So they cleared about 50... Oh, there we go. 60, 70-ish. Yeah, so they cleared about 60, 70, something around that region, but another mine hit there. That's the best way to clear them. Possibly so. And then we had that there. Yep, I imagine there's a lot of mines at Wake. We do have 4 DMSs over here as well, actually. So these guys... 1, 2... Yeah, there's another 4 there. So we do have 4 more DMSs over here as well, so we can have them move out here too. We just need to be able to clear the area. If we can clear the mines, that'd make our life a lot easier. A lot easier. He does have all these submarines over here, which are a major pain in the arse, but we'll see. AMC's a truck. Yeah, that's true. We do have these 6 guys over here. We do intend to send a number of them elsewhere. But, well, we have 6 here in total. 2 were due to head south to Raphael, which we'll probably still have sent south. But we do have another 4 of these guys over here, which can clear mines too. Obviously, they're even more fragile than the DMSs, but they're still good at what they do. And that's clear mines. Okay. Now, we did have detection out this way, but we're not seeing it right now. Which is a shame. I was hoping that we could have got some more accurate information there to work with. Hey, done that, Honorous. Good to have you, my friend. And I'm going to sneeze in literally a second. Oh, God. Excuse me. A bit of detection there. Okay. Yes, every ship is a minesweeper at least once. Even a BB is a minesweeper at least once. Not seeing a huge amount of detection around this area. As you say there, BGG, I'd imagine he has the carriers around this area. There's a number of different things they could be doing. They could be quite literally just sat over here at Midway. They could be sat over here at Pearl. They could be in the immediate vicinity somewhere. And I'd imagine that's probably what he will be doing. I mean, we are seeing these ships over here. But we've been seeing them day in, day out. And it looks like he's assembling more over here. But even then, I don't know, it's bizarre. Because he could be assembling all of his force. He could have it just sit, I don't know. He could have it sat at any one of these bases in the area. And not constantly show it to us. There's definitely a reason as to why he's constantly showing it. So, it makes me think there's more to play there. More at play, I should say. Okay, we do have this supply over here at Ricardo Bay, which is good now. Excuse me. Well, it depends. I mean, we have seen float planes. We have seen float planes in that area. We did see the BB supposedly not too long ago. He could be operating ships that obviously do have their own float planes. He could have a couple of them operating out that way. I don't think it took any real damage. Rearmed only take a single turn. Damage repaired, it'd be just small amounts. I mean, he could be doing that, but yeah. I don't imagine it'd take very long to do so. We'll see. It's strange. I mean, this is it. He's probably going to come in here and attack anyway. I'll take a look at that shortly, therefore. I don't know if you bring these carriers all the way down here, because I don't know really what it's done to gain from it. Of course, you could gain from it, but it just seems like a very odd move. He'll be up to something, because we do obviously have our carriers readily... Well, he knows where they are. Readily identified. So we're at 19,000 BP today, which is quite nice. We are not too far from the 10,000 mark. Today we do have 2 G4s that go down to Ops, and I do like the G4s, 2 Jakes there. A top C and a Sally, a D3A1. He has a Seagull loss there. And we are seeing a Vindicator. Now the Vindicator we know full well is aboard the carriers. Well, that's the last place we saw them, aboard the carriers. So he's definitely operating out that way. The good news is every Vindicator he loses is a really important thing in that. He lost a Hurricane, which is quite nice. Yeah, so that is a seaplane. He's using that as a reconnaissance aircraft, as a search aircraft. He's going to be in the area somewhere. He's more than likely operating them in some capacity. Those subs near Talagi gained from a Triangle Ship Patrols. The way that he goes into Talagi is quite narrow. There's really only 1 or 2 ways into Talagi for the most part. If he wants to be quick about it, otherwise he's going to come into attack from aircraft. So ships sunk today. So, see these guys over here? The Manly... it's funny actually that the AGP was working most of that. We do sink the Manly apparently. Oh, it's a Wix class, okay. Yeah, they do get some pretty nice ASW, so it does make sense why he would have them converted over. And they do serve a pretty nice role there, being able to just transfer supply really, so I can't blame him. Yeah, they will shock on the turn they land. Which makes it hard. We're going to be landing with a infantry regiment and a tank. Well, it's not a full regiment. It's still listed as a regiment, but it's not quite a regiment. As they will be going in. What we'll do then the turn after is have PBs going to unload supply so they don't trigger another attack. And then what we'll do is have the 84th Naval Guard go ashore there. Now, touch wood. There we go. It's not really wood, but it's got some sort of wood in it. The division should be unloaded, and it looks like it's unloaded at long last, which is bloody excellent. Yes, it's finally unloaded. So there we are. So now we do have the 3 elements of the 2nd Division over here. Now these guys have been planning for Wake, so they're 29 planning now. More prep would be good, at least that's something. So we have these guys that can be sent to Wake as well, which will likely have at least one of them readied and moved over. We'll probably have to have a decent number of assets moved over to Wake to subdue it ultimately. But at least for the 2nd Division it does allow us to bring in additional armour, and they do have some tankettes in here. Most importantly, we do have IG engineers, we do have infantry. Having a lot of infantry is going to be very good because we are going to have them chewed up. But having that artillery is very useful. They do have 15cm howitzers in there, which is quite nice. Motorized squads, cavalry squads. Not like they're going to be doing a lot on Wake, but hey, they come in useful. I mean, Wake itself is such a tiny island in reality. It's quite amusing actually, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, there you go. It's still armoured, which is nice. Oh yeah, I know. Will you scuttle the doomed DMSs? No. If they can serve their purpose, then they can serve their purpose. I mean, this one is more or less screwed. But if she can just do a little bit more minesweeping before she goes down, then hey, that's good for me. She is likely doomed. I mean, that 90 there is a lot. She is pretty buggered. This guy... yeah, she's more than likely screwed. I'd be surprised if she was able to do any minesweeping. This guy, maybe could survive, but I don't think it's particularly worthwhile. I don't know. It's these 5-inch coastal defense guns, isn't it, that's causing the problems. It might be worthwhile to maybe save her, or try to save her. But then while she's actually in the Hex, it does attract the ire of the submarines there, potentially. It does potentially attract the mines to her hull, rather than others. And if she can clear more mines, then that's worthwhile. She does have some depth charges here as well. It's interesting that she's actually used ammunition, so I do wonder if they do fire back at the coastal defense guns, which is an interesting thing there. But if they can clear any more mines, I'd be very happy. If it could just increase the detection of the minefield, I'd be quite happy. Yeah. Have to hope for the best. Again, we do have a number 4 DMS not too far away, so at least that is something that we can actually use there. Pretty good turn then. The DMSs aren't worth a lot in terms of VP, so even Scotland, she's probably going to go down anyway, but it's like a difference of... I can't remember how much it is when you scuttle. Does it reduce the points lost by half or something like that? She's only worth 3 VP at max anyway, so if she can clear another mine, then that's worthwhile. If she can absorb like some torpedoes, that's worthwhile. How many BBs bombard upon landing? Well, we do have, let's see. I was hoping that we'd have Yamashiro over here as well, but we unfortunately do not. We do have a couple more DDs and the light cruiser there to actually aid us too, which is nice. We do have Nagato and Usu. So this is the Nagato class, or Nagato. So they do have the 400mm guns. We do have Fuso. I would have liked to have had the Yamashiro, but she'll be able to head back and then she'll be able to follow up with subsequent bombardment afterwards. We do have Kongo here at Kirishima. Now, that makes her 6 BBs there at the moment. So, potentially that many. Potentially. It may be worthwhile to... I'm not too sure. It might be worthwhile to have them all going at once. Or it might... I'm not too sure. Is it more effective to have them all bombard the same day? Or is it more effective to have a bombardment each day? But that means that we're going through the minefield potentially multiple times rather than once. But the more things that go through a minefield is more things through a minefield. But I don't know. We'll have to think about that. Yeah, we'll have them bombard. But it's going to be a bombardment. Regardless, really. I would have liked to still been able to see what we saw over here. We know there's at least one group over here that has an APD. We know there's a group over here that has an APD. Not tremendously dangerous. We didn't see anything larger than that. Perhaps so, but then we also do have to look towards the safety Kitabatai as well. We will have the Yamashiro heading back to link up, so at least I can have her link up with the Kitabatai this turn. We are detected, so we don't have to keep Kitabatai in position here. We don't have to necessarily linger in this position here, considering that we do actually have a landed forces here now. So it may be that we move our position, perhaps. He's probably going to have them converge on this position here, so we do want to move somewhat. We'll see about that. We'll figure that one out. At least having the extra DMS is a good thing. We could actually have the DMSs go in 2 days, I'd imagine. Yeah, 2 days before they could go in there. And I'd want to have them go in there. It costs us more DMSs, but it would definitely be worthwhile trying to clear those mines. And again, we do have the local minesweepers over there. We do have the BB Haruna and a number of DDs over here as well. So I think I may have them head for Wake directly, perhaps. Or potentially for this area over here directly to link up. Now, they have been refueled. Looks like, yep. Well, they're pretty high up on fuel there. I could have them fully refueled of Saipan and then have them head out there towards Wake. So we do have additional BB over there too. Okay. Oh, it's a dud, wow. That's funny, actually. Oh, dear. Okay. Very large APDs, 3 AOs there. Okay. It's nice to have the turn back relatively quickly, actually. Very nice. Okay. Switch on more bases in this area. How you doing there, Grim? Barges do have some range. You can use them. They're really... They're more suitable for just transferring things between islands, really. Very, very short. Like, between here, they could be of use. They're niche... well, they're niche in their uses, really. He's adamant on keeping these submarines in this area, which is really interesting. I just need to land a unit over here to secure this base and then march in there, try and keep him in here. And then if I part a unit here... I have to take every other base on Mindanao. If I took every other base on Mindanao, he wouldn't have anywhere to retreat to anyway. So that's something to bear in mind. Okay. 55 there for Sicarian. Now I do have another CL in there, and I think I might go ahead and add that extra CL in here. And the DD, why not? Adam set to bombard Sicarian. We do have these troops marching up this way. They're taking an aviation unit out here, which is good. I'm not seeing much damage there, but I really don't have much in the way of detection, which is kind of a pain in the backside. Right, the tankers... Oh, that's a shame that they're only... They're one hex out. I would have preferred them to have arrived at Marie today. And then at least they could have begun to load up. But they'll arrive at Marie tomorrow. I do have those sort of the APs. They're going to arrive in Manila tomorrow, then. So I did have them load up fuel there, so they'll be able to arrive in Manila tomorrow. They can unload that fuel, then we can draw that fuel from elsewhere, from here in the future. I'll just have it reside here if we need it to be here. I don't know if there's any... I don't think there's any heavy industry. No, I don't think we have any heavy industry in the Philippines. But having fuel is useful. Naval building's going well. We've got a couple of ships that'll be arriving in a couple of days. We did have a new DD arrive here today. About 30 odd days before we do have a new carrier. Right, they've arrived here. Shame that we had the AGP go down, but we do obviously have a number of AGPs here anyway. Not too bad. Okay, we do have a 9th Infantry Regiment that has arrived here. So they can begin to march over here to Bandawang. Along the major road there. Okay. Junyo. Right. So they will move out tomorrow. Excellent, okay. So they're going to move out tomorrow. Number of DDs there I need to actually make use of. But it looks like we eliminated the actual assets around here, so that's quite good. I do have a number of DMSs actually headed to Java, which I could do with actually... they're not too far away. We do have one DMS there. I think there's a couple other ones arriving. Sorry, they're coming from the north over here. So there's 2 more DMSs over there that are actually heading south, so we'll waiting on a couple of those guys. Eventually the mines would disappear over here at Surabaya, but I would like to go ahead and clear them. At least at Surabaya, if they did get hit by a mine, they could go straight into that repair shipyard. Okay. I did leave behind a DMS over here. We do have those assets that should move elsewhere, really. Right, so we have this cleared up over here, which is excellent. And we do have the TIE unit over here, which is good news. So that's just arrived in position here, which is excellent. Now, I do have another TIE unit moving across there. I do have a RF gun battalion that's moving there. It's about 14 miles into that journey. There's another that's moving over there too, I think. Yes, there we are. That was 25 miles into that journey. And I have the RTA/A, which is unpacking now, but will begin moving. I should have had this one actually begin to move over there, and I think I will go ahead and do that. Just have that begin to move over there. At least then that makes some progress. I should have done that last turn actually, so that one can just stay in combat mode there. We do have the RTA units that have just arrived in this position here. Okay. Okay. That's good, Grim. I'd totally recommend it. It's definitely the way to play. I'll have to decide where those RTA units are going to go. Yeah, we'll have that moved out there. Obviously, it'll take a while to arrive at that point. Alright, they're in position there. Excellent. Okay. Now, initially, I was going to have them march into India. I am not going to do that. I'm going to have them withdrawn. Well, brought back, I should say. So we'll have them march over here to Rome, and then I can have them moved out by rail, so we should do so. But I don't think I'd move them anywhere else other than Rangoon to pull them out anyway. I could even potentially have them railed over here to Lashio, and arguably have them railed out to Lashio and then march them through Paoshan and then into China. That might be quicker, but it's probably not. No, it probably isn't. I'm better off having them move to Rangoon, and then at least we could actually have them rest there and shipped out elsewhere. So we'll have them marched down to Rome. The reason is it would be nice to move it to India. I could move some small units into India to take some of these bases over here. A limited offensive is all well and good, but the issue is it's going to take us a long time to get into this area, Bangladesh. And I don't know if I want to go ahead and have that supply expenditure for something that I'm going to end up getting. I don't know. I just fear that if we go deeper into India now, when we're not really ready for a full-scale invasion, I'm going to get drawn into something I really don't want to, and it's going to be hard to get back out then. So that's the reason for that. So we'll have them all march south. There we are. We'll take a look at that destroyer then in just a sec. Oops. Where did she arrive? She's over here, I think, isn't she? She is the Akatsuki class there. The best thing about her is the fact that she does have the Type 2 depth charges. Obviously, these are dual-purpose guns, and she does have 8 of them, which is really quite nice. 25 mils mean jack all, but having those dual-purpose guns is really quite nice. She's a very good ship, but a fine ship. She can carry a good amount of men as well. Japanese DDs are really good like that. She can carry more troops than his converted APDs can, which makes sense. It's probably a larger destroyer in all honesty. I mean, it's 3,430 tons. I don't know how she compares to the... Was it the Fletcher? I think she's larger than a Fletcher, but I'm not too sure. We do need to bring far more resources and supply from Hokkaido into Japan proper, which we are going to be doing that. We do have a number of radar systems that we do need to deploy as well to a couple different units. So I'm looking at 8 units there. He's still marching them, so I've got to assume that he's actually still going that way. We can see that he's revealed his hand over here, then, so he has a second... I mean, this is it. It's not even that much more of a powerful core. Whereabouts was it? The 3rd Battle of Ankang? I think it was, yes. Yeah, the 66 obviously is fairly powerful. That one not so much. That half strength. But I mean, this is it. It's held them up there. Yeah. Oh, I know. They are older destroyers. So... I do have a 12th there. I think I'm going to have a march that way. Or maybe I'll have a march in there. Well, actually, no. What I could do here then is have a march across the road. Have them march across the river, and then they can march into Ankang from this direction. And then at least I can actually control that. I don't know if that's worthwhile doing. I may be better off moving them back this way. But then I don't want to leave that road open, but I don't know. What I'd like to do is actually, once we secure Paoshan, once we secured Suyong as well, and I think probably the first objective over here in this area of China is once we do break out from Qiankou, would be to go ahead and secure Chengdu. The reason being, well, there's also that industry there which is excellent. Obviously the airfield's very nice. Obviously denying him that airfield would be excellent. But I'd like to have control of that road there, so we could actually have supply move from here to here. Of course, vice versa. And importing units if we so wish to do so. But I think that is all secondary road. Yeah, it's all secondary road, so it'll take a while. I'd be better off moving down this way to secure that road to then march up over here. We're not too far away from being able to launch the attack. Is that 32 units there? Still one. Still one, apparently. I had a question about the heaviest gun that we have over here at Kilgore. 300mm. I think would be the largest. 8 of those. Yeah, so we've got 8 300 mils, and then I imagine it's varying heavy caliber. Yeah. Yeah. So decent size, decent caliber there. Right, the 11th Tank Regiment's making good progress, which is nice. Righto. So we're possibly one day out from arriving at Changsha. We do... Wow, that's actually a core there. Okay, so it's an actual core. Interesting. Probably better just to land over here. Well, it probably would be better just to cross at Hengyang, considering that we do have the 51st Division here to the south. There's also the 8th Armoured Car Company. But it probably would make more sense to land over here. Then I would actually control the rail line after the fall of Hengyang. And after the fall of Kuei Lin, we'd control that. Which would be nice, so that'd actually link up over here pretty well. We have to move things fairly quickly then. We do have our 2 divisions over here, which have arrived, so we are going to have them go ahead and attack the base here. 16. Sorry, no, 1,000. Sorry, 11,000. I think I'm going to go for a shock attack there. I think they're pretty beaten up, and I'd like to try and really hurt them. I may go for the good old reliable deliberate, but I'll have as a shock for now. Right, they've got supply enough. I'll allow them to recover that disruption and fatigue and then attack again. Headquarters moving there. Kicked him out of here, which is good. Not many men there, apparently. Right, okay, so we have these units over here, but I could do it having like an actual brigade to go challenge that. He hasn't attacked over here, so that's good. I don't think he has the capability to do so. We do have our assets moving out of here. That's good. We've all arrived. Yeah, we're going to head and arrive over here to Wasu, so we can take it out tomorrow then. Go for a shock attack. Wooded Rough. I think I'll just go for a deliberate. I don't think he has anything to stop us, but I don't want to lose tanks due to that terrain. They're moving out that way. This unit, yep, still holding fort over here. But actually saying that, this guy here is 42 AV, needs to head over there. How you doing there, Mike? Yeah, this guy needs to head over here to the Rumchi. Could be our permanent garrison there. They're arriving over here. Okay, cool. They can remain in position. They did a great job. They'll hold there, yeah, 53. Great commander too. Yeah, so, I mean, that's a lot of AV there. That's the thing. That is what, 700 AV or something of that nature. Yeah, it's about 700 AV that's tied up over here at Ankang. That's just really not going to be able to do jack. I think I'm going to have that march that way. Now, saying that, it would be nice. I don't think it makes a difference. I'd have to take these bases here to really stop him from doing anything. I think we march back this way. because that'll allow me to reform a division there. So I could reform the 12th division, which would give me the 12th and the 37th division. So I'd have 2 full divisions then to reinforce this area. I mean, these guys are going to head this way, so they're going to have to get moving. Have them begin to march to Kyankol. Eventually I won't need to worry about this road being cut here if I can take this road. I said rather not lose any road, but I think would be good there. We will ultimately have these divisions heading down this way, with the 110th heading down this way anyway. So at least that's something. Okay. Additional units marching up here. We do have another aviation battalion there. And another one there. I do have the 59th A, which is heading north. It's going to take them some time to arrive up there, but that'll give me an additional AV over here to actually secure this area, which I'm quite happy about. I did activate every unit over here and put them all into combat mode. So it does actually bring up the total number of engineers to 159, which is good. So it does help to accelerate the progress that we actually make over here at the airfield. Did I misclick over here? Some 8349. It looks like it did. Okay, fair enough. It did cause quite a few casualties there. I do want to hit these guys in the clear terrain. I mean, we are overstacked here. We will be able to deal with that shortly. So go ahead and bomb Chang. There we are. They did do a good job. Hang on a tick. Okay, fair enough. I didn't expect them to go that way. I mean, fair enough, they are going to be on major road now. I didn't expect them to go that way, but okay. Different to what I thought, but they'll march down that way then. That might actually work out either the same sort of time or a little bit faster, actually. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it's a little bit surprising. We do have the brigade that just arrived here today. I already do have a brigade here. Yes. So I've got the 3rd Independent Brigade here. And we have the 59/B over here, which is unpacking currently. So that gives me a little bit of additional AV I can have moved out. I'm somewhat tempted to have these hexes secured properly. I may go ahead and actually have it moved over to this sort of area of the additional AV, or even to Hankow proper, just to increase the AV. I'd really like to make sure they never got to Hankow, really, to avoid them having the benefit of the defences there, of that defensive terrain. But if I had enough AV to really absolutely annihilate them if they cross the river. But this is so long. It's so far away before that could be a problem. He's got to actually march out of there. And that's going to take a long time. If he ever does march out of there. Indeed. Right, that answer is moving across. We do have... Yes, artillery's arrived over here. The good thing is with this artillery, I can actually have it open fire. Yeah, those 240 guns can go to work. These 28 centimeter guns can go to work as well. So I can keep on bombarding them here, and then we can start to wear them down. I do have some infantry, and I do have a tank unit over here as well. I'd really like to go ahead and secure this base over here at Wolchar. That would be very nice to do. Units have arrived over here at Wankau, so it looks like Wankau has actually no defenders. I'd like to find out if it has any mines, so I could do with actually sending some mine clearing ships out this way. I do have a AP loaded. Oh, it's already loaded. Excellent. So these guys are already loaded up. I could potentially have them sent directly into Wankau. But then, I don't know. Is it worth the risk? Because there could very well be mines in there. We will have some mines we can craft around here. I'm pretty sure we'll have some somewhere. So I could go ahead and get them sent in there to go ahead and clear in mines. I'm tempted just to land them over here just to make sure that we have no risk of mines. We could probably get through there. Is it just me or does the game look zoomed out? No more so than usual because it's impossible to zoom in or out. Yeah, there is only the zoom. There's no choice on that one. Potentially so, but... Right, they're moving good. So I'll be able to pick up these troops and actually have them begin to be moved out. Actually saying that, that's just an aviation battalion. Yeah, indeed, enhance. I need to go ahead and pick these guys up. I forgot to load them back aboard those guys there, but we'll do that afterwards. Okay. I did dispatch the heavy cruiser back. How far has it moved? Ah, there we go. Yeah, it is moving back over this way to BLeAcHACiD. No, sorry, not to BLeAcHACiD, to Singapore, because I'm going to go ahead and repair that damage there. Yes, indeed you can there, BGG. I would like to have some more solid ships in this area, but as of right now, we don't particularly need them. But I do have some infrastructure over here, but... I can rotate some ships. We do have a number of actual assets over here, to be honest. I'd actually forgotten about some of these guys. They've been there in a while. Not that long. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're pretty damn good. We do have a number of actual ships over here that can do a lot. I may have the Toho's converted to carry, so to the AKT versions. I may go ahead and do that. But yeah, we do have the Azcona, Maya, Kiso, and Oi. And a number of destroyers. Talking about some of those, nice. Bunch of patrol boats too. More fuel there moving into Singapore. More fuel moving into Singapore. That's only 1250. 2380 here. Yeah, Pakoi. I've been doing reconnaissance of Pakoi. I just need to get a unit to do that. It's not a major priority, but I will eventually do that and take that. It's just that it has a garrison requirement, and that's the really pain of it. It would be nice to have those resources, but it's pretty low on the priority list. So I do see a fair number of units over here. They can stay in that mode there. We have secured this side of the hex, so that's good. I can then march in this way eventually and take that. So that'll be quite nice. We know there's 3 units in there, but I know that have decent strength. So they can just remain in there for the time being. I'm going to have them move back, though, just to make sure I secure that. Actually, no, I can leave it as is. I'll leave it as is. Yeah, I know I can. I just don't have it right now. It's just honest to God not that much of a priority right now. It's just one of these things of, yeah, I do have the AV to go ahead and take Pakoi, but the thing is then when I take it, that's 20 AV that has to remain there at Pakoi for the rest of the game, more or less. So, it's not a major goal for me right now. It's not a major priority. So I can use that 20 AV, let's say, elsewhere for the time being, and eventually have something found for that. I'll likely just have a Chinese unit move in there. After we do indeed take it. Right, so they're going to arrive in that hex tomorrow, play them in combat mode. Yeah, I know. It's a bit awkward to get to it, and it's really not that much of a priority. It's just to have for completeness. Well, at least the secondary roads out here that don't show up on the map, so at least that's something. Okay. When that headquarters, and I'll go ahead and cross the Yan'an. I'd like to get some bombers hitting Yan'an before we do that, though. Well, looking pretty good. Yeah, everything's looking pretty good. I could do with a unit down here, actually, to hold that base. That one can go over here to Bramban. Sorry, Tongol. Tongol? How do you want to pronounce that? I could do with holding each of these bases, really. Some certainly matter more than others, however. I'll decide where to move them later. Yeah, they do, but they're going to be around forever, so that's fine by me. There's not much combat that they have coming up anymore now. Well, out to Pakoi or in Burma. I don't like the way they're headed there. Actually, I suppose I can understand it, but that's going to take them quite a long time. Those tanks will take forever. Maybe it's worthwhile moving the infantry like that. Maybe it's worthwhile. It might actually be worthwhile to move them like that. Perhaps. I'd want to have them move to this hex here. What are we looking at in the jungles and etc.? Infantry would move at 4. No, it's probably not worthwhile. I'll just move them down this road. I'll just make sure that they actually bloody well do that. So it can be quite awkward. Right. Make sure they march the right way. They're heading there. I'll have them begin to move to Akyab. I don't think they'll ever get to Akyab, but we'll try. Alright, now I'd want them to move directly across, but apparently they can't do that, so okay. We do have more units to begin with, so the artillery begin to catch up. Obviously, the artillery is never going to really... They ended up they ended up behind, which was kind of annoying. But the division's making good progress. It's not going to take as long as I thought, actually, which is nice. So we should arrive in this hex in another... 36 out of 46. Maybe a day or two. I think maybe 2 days at most. If we assume that's 4... Not that far, not that far. Not quite 2 weeks like I thought, but not that much less than 2 weeks. But not that. Not longer anyway, which is nice. Okay. Yeah, so we're preparing here really. So we're taking this area done shortly, which I'm looking forward to. That's going to be more VP1 for us, more industry secure for us. Quaylin, sorry, will likely fall tomorrow, which secures us that. I do have to garrison that. But what I will do is actually have a paratrooper unit moved over there to Quaylin, just to garrison it. Or any other unit that can be moved over into there, I'll go ahead and do so. That would be nice. We're looking pretty good then. There's not a whole lot here. March 28th, not far before the landing bonus ends, which is a shame, but hey. We've got the vast majority of the Dutch East Indies, so I'm quite happy about that. More yet to be taken, but we can do that. Would be nice if these dot bases actually just fell to our control, really, but now well. It does, but it's something that we can definitely handle. We'll have it really sorted out in the near future. We do get a bunch of actual garrison units arriving in Japan in some while. Now we can make use of, really. I'm going to have all the AA bought out from Korea, Manchuria, and China, actually. And I'll likely have it pushed into Japan, or potentially elsewhere, but likely Japan. Or equally vital areas. Okay. A little bit over there. And this is the thing, you're playing a pretty consistent game here by moving one thing to another. But the good news is we do have pretty much the Chinese army tied down for the most part. There's not much AV he actually has as free and mobile. I imagine it's just fortifying Chongqing at this point in time. And what is Chongqing? Sorry, what is Chengdu? So Chengdu is urban lives, it's ×2. I mean, Chongqing, thank God, is only ×2. If that had been ×4, that would have been very nasty. I mean, ×2 is nasty, but it's no ×4. Certainly no Hankow. Certainly no Shanghai, nor Hong Kong, nor equally large city. I do look forward to having Changsha, though. If any of that heavy industry remains, I'd be quite happy. If generally any industry made in all is worthwhile. Okay. I'm pretty happy then. so far. Yeah, pretty happy with things, how it turned out, really. Okay. Yep. Oh, that's why I supposedly forgot about them, because they've just returned to service now. That's good to see. They're doing a good job. Oil 6 is always a good thing. Okay. New unit there is very handy to have. Suva. Okay. Seattle there. Okay. Not too surprised on that account. Yes, we're 94 days before Palembang has been completely repaired in terms of oil. I really do need to look after that. I would really prefer that not to get hit by anything and damage that. We will have armor moving north, which is a good thing. I do have a second raiding regiment over here. Where's the rest of the second raiding regiment? It's over here at Chiang Mai. I think that is just the elements that can't be moved. Yeah. Actually, no, they could be moved. I just need to actually go ahead and move them over there. That's I must have forgotten about that. Yeah, and I've got the Tinas to do that. So I may have them just complete their move over here to Rangoon. I don't know whether I'd actually want to have a paratroop unit over here at Rangoon. But in fairness, I could actually have them railed up to Lashio, maybe? I don't know if I'd want to do that. I don't know if I'd really gain it. I could potentially use the paratroopers to secure a bunch of these bases that are empty quickly. And really for no other reason than just to annoy him. If they have no garrison requirement, that's excellent. If they had something worth taking, it'd be great to just take it. But I doubt that they're going to have no garrisons. I mean, that'd be nice to take there the oil and refineries. But it's not really a plan, is it? Just to, oh, I'm going to drop in there just because I can. It's not a real plan. 19 ships in there. We are seeing a couple ships outside port. Not seeing heavy ships out here. It's not daft enough to give them a Calcutta. They'd likely live here in Madras or Colombo. $22 now. That's very interesting to see the numbers change so much between 32 and 22. Okay. Right, armaments are still looking okay. I do have armaments production turned on. I may turn that off actually just to try and save as much as I can. I'll consider that. I think we're doing okay on armaments. We have 6,000 in the pool. So it should be okay for now. You don't use that much armaments, but I would like to try and build that pool up at some point in the future, really. Heavy industry has reached 600,000 points there. Okay. $59. $21 there. Not that it really matters on those guys. I really would like another 6. We haven't had anything higher than that. But they're making progress. That's what matters. It's still progress. Still some engine expansion going on, which would eat away into our supplies, but it's worthwhile doing. But once that's finished off, then we don't have that to worry about. Aye. Okay, so we're looking pretty good, then. As far as it goes, there's not a huge amount that's going to particularly... Well, actually, no, so now we'll have the land in a wake. That's still going to be a fairly large thing. Hopefully that goes well. Yeah, I mean, we're doing well on the A6M8. So they're building up fortifications here. I may have them move down elsewhere. But that being built up as highly as possible is well worthwhile. I know you know. I know you know. Oh dear. Right, I do have free flight supply there. I'm somewhat tempted to maybe have that move to Lagi, but it's probably worthwhile just maintaining it over here at Carter. We're up to 40% there. Not that far away. A submarine over here at Manus is interesting. I wonder if he's actually mining that. Because what else? Whatever reason would he have to be out here at Manus? Unless that submarine's actually just been in that spot for a long time now. I am patrolling this area more heavily than I once was. I do have this guy over here. It's listed as an amphibious one because I couldn't change it back afterwards, but it doesn't really matter. But I did get the AV, what was that, Akishishima out from Raphael. And she's heading towards these islands over here. Likely heading to Rainama. She may head elsewhere. An Ortok, I wish an Ortok had a size 2 airfield. I may build that up one day, but yeah. It is complaining about the troop load over here, but we're going to have them loaded on ships very quickly, so we'll be able to deal with that. I do have these guys over here, these two BBs. They are protecting a good deal of fuel over here, which is quite nice. So what we're going to do then is have a number of number of tankers drop off fuel at a number of these bases over here, which is quite nice. I do have these 3 DDs over here. These guys should, in theory, each be carrying some troops, and they all are, which is absolutely fandabidosi. So I'm going to go ahead and capture a number of these islands as quickly as I can. Yeah, it would be, but it's not that expensive. It's not super expensive. It is, don't get me wrong, it is going to cost us a lot more. But a size 2 airfield isn't as expensive as a size 3 airfield, so at least that's something. But I will want that to be... size 2 at least would be very nice. I mean, I could do that, but the thing is, I'm going to have them moved out shortly. And it's only at 1% now. It used supply that we don't have in great abundance, and I'd rather have used for something else. Eventually, I will have some engineers move down here to build this up and make it usable. We'll get there at some point in the future, and that'd be quite nice. I could do again some... maybe a little bit of additional supply moved over here to Marcus. There's not a huge consumption at Marcus, but I'd like to have just top it up a little bit more, perhaps. Now, we do have ships moving out into the Pacific here. Their Pacific reason being to act as really intelligence. I mean, they're going to be moved all the way out here. The idea being that we just are aware of things in the area. Especially carriers. So we don't get caught out again. Yeah, dropped off supply over here. It'll be good to have because it helps to solidify control of that area. We're building a parachuter gym. I'm going to have that port built up to a size 3 if I can, eventually. The reason being, it'd be very expensive to do so, but I think it'd be worthwhile to have because parachuter Ojima is a pretty important base, and it's a pretty large base as far as it goes, really. I believe it being over the intended capacity of the actual hex increases the cost of it, but I'm not entirely sure how much. I know that it does, though. Or at least it increases the time taken to do so, which increases the cost anyway. Right, these bad boys arrived over here so we can have... I may draw a supply. No, it's not a good idea to draw a supply from China. Just draw the fuel or resources. resources, really, yeah. Plenty of resources here, so we'll just draw those resources out from Port Alpha to Japan proper. Now we're back up to 244. It does like to move around here in Japan, which is an interesting little facet. But I'd like to get a good couple million tons of resources in Japan. Really, really stockpile the living hell out of those resources. And of course the fuel. And the excellent news is all that fuel is adding up. I mean, capturing Langkao intact is just phenomenal. Really, really good for us. Yeah, I mean, we have the refineries there. We have that light industry. I mean, 60 light industry is excellent. I mean, that's 60 every day. All day, every day. Every day. Very happy about that. And that just consumes resources, which is something that we have in abundance. Very happy about that. So that's good. That puts out that supply there. The refinery puts out that supply too. And of course puts out that fuel. So happy about that. Okay. I mean, capturing the light industry in this area is going to be very good. There's a good deal of it. I'd love to get an armoured unit to move over here to take this base, ideally before he could arrive there. That'd be excellent. He's likely going to retrieve, so we'd have to really try and power through this area. I'd have to bomb the living hell out of him to try and slow him down, of course. But I'm making progress here. I'm looking forward to taking Paoshan. I mean, Paoshan has 21 light industry there. Young just has the airfield. But Kunming actually has quite a lot there. 101 heavy industry, that's nearly the same as Shanghai. 81 there as well is fantastic. The resources there too is really quite nice. But that heavy industry could be fueled from Burma, which is excellent news. That adds to our capacities. Guiyang has light industry. There's a lot of light industry in China which I'm really eager to take. Light industry continues to produce forever, really. As long as you have supply. Chongqing would be good. Taking all that light, that industry would be fantastic, as you guys know. But I'm looking pretty good. 20 miles there to the movement. So they're almost halfway to this hex here. Yeah. Let's try and recover these divisions. I'm not too particularly keen on the amount of disabled they have. I mean, that's a good point there regarding fuel. He's been cut off from fuel for a while now, so I don't know. But I mean, I imagine he'll have a stockpile of fuel, but it will eventually run out. Yeah, exactly, there you go. BGG says. Eventually it's going to run out, which is excellent, which really cuts his supply generation drastically. He's lost the majority of China, and that's just going to get worse each turn. Right, they're not too far away. I mean, Wenkao over here. It's a shame that we bombarded it, but I just did not expect it to be empty of a garrison. But if I could secure the rest of that there, that'd be very nice. It'd be quite nice to have there. Even that level of resources would be good. Just everything's good. Everything's good. It's actually ironic that Wenkao only costs us the amount to rearm the BB. That's quite amusing then, actually. We did. It's just there wasn't enough reconnaissance. And it's as you can have 1 out of 10 and it sometimes won't show you what's actually there. So we just went with the assumption that there was something there. Because why would there not be something there? Because he's been losing VP from this, which is nice. Okay. So I gain an okay amount there for one cow. Check Char's not worth a huge amount. Hey, didn't that mind? Good to have you, my man. It's going to be a pain to deal with those Chinese, but they'll eventually disappear. Right, how much is this one worth? 20 there. I'm not sure about 1,000 to 1,500. Maybe, I'm not too sure on that one. I'm not, well, it depends. They definitely have to remain in combat mode, which will increase their amount of supply consumption. I'm not too sure how much. I can't imagine them having much supply anyway. They had enough to conduct an attack, but that's after how many days of waiting? Let's take a look. What is the supply consumption of a division? If I can find one, that is. Excuse me. Let's take this one at 443. Right. Yeah, Manchuria. About 1,000 for those guys. I'm moving a number of divisions around Manchuria just to build up some bases for fortify, build some airfields up ahead of time. I generally do hope he completes his movement over here, so I would like that airbase so I can actually start bombing. I wager that it is cheaper to bomb him than it is to bombard him. Aye. So his mind stays there regardless of supply consumption. He's not in a great position. I do wonder how much supply he'll have over here at Bandwang. It's been a fair while. He will potentially have production from the light industry, but even then that's only 21. Which is still something, don't get me wrong, that's still something. Not a large amount though. So we're looking at 26 days before the oil is completely repaired over here as well, which is something. Aye. I need to get those moving. Aye, so it's not too long, so I'm looking at probably 1 to 2 days before they reach this base over here, depending on the rail. I mean, this is minor rail, that's major rail, so they'll move pretty quickly once they get to this point. They might make it to the other side of the island fairly quickly. It's either going to be a day or 2 days. 2 days probably max. Once they do arrive, they'll have to unpack and then they'll have to march to Bandwang. But at least it is major road there to Bandwang, so we'll have that covered for us. After that, it is just simply destroying the garrison there, and that is the final garrison on mainland Java. Aye, indeed. It's kind of annoying, but it turned out that way, really. But it could have been worse. Aye. He is completely surrounded in there. We control all hex sides, so he's got no way out. So we'll get it. We'll be able to reunite the 56th Division then at least, and then what we'll do then is we'll likely have them transferred over here to Mindanao to take Mindanao. At least the 56th, I'd imagine. The other assets may be somewhere else. I do need to take these other bases around here too. I mean, I do need to organise to take this base quite quickly. Ideally, I have something in the area to go ahead and do, but I might go ahead and take this guy and take that. I think that base is actually garrison, so I do need like a naval guardian to take that, but I imagine they're probably low on supply, to the point of probably having nothing. Excuse me. I do need to get some more supply down to Tarakan. We do have some supply movement though, however. Dear, indeed. They're moving down there. Jakarta Bay. Alright, boiler. Additional naval guard. We do have the cruisers and destroyers heading south here. They'll be able to refuel a Rapal. They can actually go ahead and repair some of the Rapal as well. So we do have the 2 ARs over there. And we will eventually have the auxiliary repair dock there too. I'm going to have a number of actual escorts sent to bring that into Raphael. Been a fair while moving there, hasn't it? I can almost track the movement of a sun. Of the sorry, the change of the seasons by tracking that. Yeah, they're both there at the moment. Excuse me. I've got a bit of a cold here again at the moment. Don't know how. Never been outside, so tell me that one. Riddle me that. Yeah, we'll be able to start converting additional ARs soon enough, which I'm looking forward to doing so. Although we're both at truck beforehand, it's better to have at least one position that's worthwhile. Raphael's obviously guarded. We do have some zeros over here, but not much. I don't think we have the ability to convert them yet. Yeah, they do take a while. I just think we don't have the option to convert them. Which class is it? The Hishimi. Yeah, May 42. We've got all the Hishimis essentially waiting. As soon as we have that ability to convert them, then I will have them all converted to the ARs. But I think I'm going to wait till May at least for the Hishimi class. I'm not too sure if anybody else converts there sooner than that. But all the Hishimis will be converted as soon as we do get that option to do so. I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest. It'd be really very nice to have ARs all over the place. Yeah. May 42, sorry, I think it is. Yes, May 42. Oh, I see. Yeah, it'd be a fair while, but oh well. Yeah. Oh well, sooner you start, sooner they finish. No sooner than 360 days though. We did have a number of ships that finished repairing over here at Tokyo and Yokohama, Yokosuka, and I have gone ahead and moved them over to the other side of Japan. Don't really want to have them hidden there. All we're complaining about over here in Nagasaki. Lack of supply in Nagasaki is interesting. We have been transferring additional units though. It's just like the fact that, yep, they're loading up there. That makes sense. Okay, that explains it. We'll build up the airfield over here on this island as well, which I'm looking forward to. That's going to be very nice for us to help out with the ASW. I probably will go ahead and actually build up these islands too, and they're just going to be quite handy just to help us control the area around here. Okay. We're about 20 days from the Issei being finished. 30 days, sorry, about 30 days. So in about a month she'll be fully repaired. Quite unfortunate that she hit a minor ballop happen, but well, we'll learn a lesson there. So we'll have the Issei class, well, the Issei available in about a month, which is quite nice. Excuse me. No, I'm just waffling at this point, Ben, so we're looking pretty good. We'll try and get this finished off soon enough, and I'm going to go ahead and do some more Japanese revision, because that's all I ever do these days. It's worthwhile, it's just boring as fuck. One day. I hope you guys had a great time. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself out of being bored already there. So I hope you guys have a fantastic time. It's not that long before we should probably get to the next 10 as well, so I'm quite happy about that. We're making good progress, so one step at a time we'll be there. We will have a wake landing tomorrow then. And arguably, yeah, we were meant to land at wake today, but didn't happen. But in a lot of ways, yeah, it sucks. That we're behind on schedule a little bit, but in some ways it's not too bad. I mean, we do have the division that's finally ready and divided now, so I can begin to have our division loaded up. So I'll figure out how to divide them, figure out which ships I want them on, and then at least we get those reinforcements underway sooner rather than later. Sooner from the point of view of the troops not actually landing. We do have more assets in the area. We do have the AO in the area as well, so that's something there. We do have less mines to deal with at Wake. Not that many less, not that much less, but somewhat less. After Wake, what then? For the Kiribatai, I'd like to potentially move towards the Illusions, but I mean, that really does depend on where the American carriers are for the most part. And we do have a number of zeros in the pool. We have 17 zeros in the pool now. We're just waiting to be able to have them pushed into the groups in this area and up the numbers again. I'd like us to be in a position where these areas can somewhat look after themselves. It really does depend though. Kinabatai roles will be very interesting. I wouldn't be too against having Kinabatai sit in port for quite a long time actually. And potentially just having our aircraft deployed elsewhere. It's an interesting one really. Do you have any sort of north of Pearl Harbor to keep a picket line watching the approach to the illusions? Not, well, yeah, technically yes. To this point over here. But not that much further north. I would like to say the illusions, it would be quite nice to have them just to push the US further back. But we'll see there. It could be that Kinabatai remains a truck for some time, either side pad, somewhere. Rabal perhaps, but Rabal's within range. So truck would be somewhere decent. It depends really. I don't really intend to use the Kinabatai offensively afterwards. It really depends. We need like an actual proper operation, an actual legitimate reason to require the usage of KB. Otherwise, in my opinion, they can sit in port. If they're in port, they're not in danger. It means that we maintain them. I could even potentially have their air crews just undergo training. I could have their pilots moved elsewhere. Could have the aircraft moved elsewhere. There's a lot of different things we can do with Kinabatai. Possibly, but again, that really depends on knowing what the enemy has in place. I mean, we could mount an Illusion Islands operation, but if we sent two CVs and, well, lo and behold, the American carriers show up, it wouldn't be great. If we do use the Kinabatai, I'd prefer to use it with as many carriers as I could really manage sensibly. But we'll see. It's a good question, it is a very good question. And I don't really have an answer for it right now. It is going to depend on a number of different things. I mean, if I could actually find the American carriers and actually tank one, I might like to do so. Obviously on our own terms, however. But it depends. If you was to somehow lose them, or they were to be sighted far enough away that we could essentially get away with a number of different things, and yeah, we could go with that. I mean, if it wasn't in the area, it could be worthwhile to potentially raid somewhere, really. I don't know, it depends. I mean, even having, the KP over in the Bering Sea is like so far away, it's not really worthwhile. And we do have these air bases being built over here. We're going to have a number of actual air flotillas move to this area as well, so we're going to have this area secured against that. I'd like to have the illusions just to have a larger buffer and to operate some naval search bases as well as having some submarine bases. But yeah, Northern Japan's defense is going to... Well, Japan's defense from the north is going to come from these islands. And obviously from Japan itself too. It's a good question. Likelihood is that they sit somewhere like at Wake. Repair and just not spend fuel, really. Aye. Okay, until next time guys, thank you very much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this, please do go ahead and follow me here on Twitch. If you do have Amazon, you can become a Twitch Prime subscriber. It doesn't cost you anything. If you do have Amazon Prime, you can support me. I gain $5, but I don't gain $5. I gain $2.5. But that's still $2.5, it doesn't cost you, and $2.5, that helps support me as a content creator, which is nice. Obviously, only do so if you feel it's worthwhile. Until next time, arigatou gozaimasu, goodbye for now.